All right, third time's a charm. Hi, I'm Jace. I'm doing a splurge this evening, which is the birth of a song. It's not anything that I try to make a song out of or anything like that. It's just making music for the sake of letting it go and seeing what happens later on. Tonight, I'm using the Northern Lights as my inspiration. I understand, according to the news, that you can see them in America here it's either over the past couple of days or in the days to come, which is a little irregular. And if I'm hedging my bet, you'll probably see them up towards Minnesota or somewhere along the Canadian border. Northern America, that would be my guess, but I could be wrong. I first saw the Northern Lights when I was in Finland, and I was staying there for a couple of months. I had the pleasure of experiencing the country there. I went out to get some firewood one evening at the house where I was staying, and I saw the snow reflecting what was in the sky. Immediately turned around and looked up, and I'm not going to lie, it was frightening. It was, something like that. Having never seen this before, they are very, very big. It's a very powerful experience, I guess you could say. And I guess they're caused by solar winds hitting the atmosphere. This neutrons or protons or whatever it is, releasing energy when they interact with the atmosphere. At least that's my understanding. But they undulate like this. They move. They don't so much flicker, but they do turn on and move, turn off for a second, turn back on again. So I'm going to try to capture a little bit of instruments this evening that can give me a little bit of this feeling and just make some sound. Go back there in my memory a little bit and see what happens here. Tonight I'm using Omnisphere. Okay. And I'm going to just go ahead and make some movements here. Sorry about those couple of false starts I had there. If you're my friend in the chat room there that was with me through that, it's par for the course. I'm not going to pretend like I understand what I'm doing here with all these different things happening at the same time. Let me see. Actually, no, I can't do that. I've got to do a couple things before I'm thinking in my head. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about some things that I might be able to do here, and some of them are codependent on needing to transfer some libraries over to this new system, which I, as of yet, have gotten around to because, well, moving 10 terabytes worth of stuff back and forth is not exactly a walk in a park. All right, let me go ahead and pull up this pad here and move it over to a neighbor next door. By that I mean another version of itself. Where this broadens and thickens, I might just go ahead and double here. And that is a big might. Okay. Let's see what happens here. I don't know why I have to keep turning this on, but for some reason, project management. I'm going to go to project settings, MIDI, and let's check on something here. Yeah. So I don't know why it keeps unchecking this box. I almost have to recheck it at the start of every project. And you want to make sure that that is checked if you're using Logic Chase MIDI, especially when you are doing any kind of sustained note productions. Like this one is got a lot of sustained notes in it. And in order for me to re-trigger to play this from here, I would have to re-trigger that from there because that's where the note starts right there. So when I have Chase MIDI set on, Logic goes back and it says, okay, where did that note start? And it reads it. Fellow leapers, how you doing? Where are you? You're welcome to drop by for as long as you like, David. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping by. What kind of music do you do, David? Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay in a couple of notes. These are going to be accents that I could you'll see what I'm going to do with these. These aren't going to be like this. bounce that out in place, and just put a quick reverse on those. I have Output's Rev sampler, and it can do a lot of cool things, but for the sake of the situation where I'm trying to just be as simple as I possibly can and, do things that aren't overtly just loaded for bear with tons of frequencies coming through, because there's really a lot of that happening already. Why not use a little bit of the old-fashioned stuff and just do a simple reverse, And if I throw a delay on there, let's see. Let's stay with the keeping it simple thing. Although this is a little step above simple with a stereo multi-output delay. Not that much. Yeah, Elvis Night, that's what I thought. No, I know, man. I've listened to your stuff. I enjoy listening to you on the call-ins, and you've always been a nice colleague there. Elvis and I are in a great program called The Leap together, and if anybody is not in The Leap watching this, it's something you should check out. It's really all about finishing tracks in the creative practice, and clearing out the cobwebs up in the attic and kicking out some things that are not the most finish friendly mindsets that you could have. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Elvis. I appreciate that. Sound for just shooting from the hip here and going with the first things that come along. I can't say that I'm having an opinion about that right now, because the first rule of a splurge is to make something that we can have an opinion about later. The whole purpose of this is to get the part of our head, the editor part, wants to step in and tell you everything that you're doing wrong over and over again, and turn you into a rewriting machine to step out of the room for a minute. Get out from in front of the creative director for a second. And one way you do that is to say, look, I'm not going to give way to that part of the process right now. I'm going to turn it off. It's like a little knob that you can dial off, turn down the editor, and later when it's time, you can turn it back up and work from there with it. Because otherwise, live and learn. All right, I'm going to, for fun, because I want to, I'm like the Bob Ross of the piano here. I'm going to put in a happy little string orchestra. It's just hanging out there. Not really doing anything, just doing what string orchestras do. This is Splurge 12. It gets better. Wait. I'm going to use Cinesamples here. I'm going to use Cinesamples. Has a great patch in its ensemble sustains. I'm going to actually use articulations because I'm going to use the sustain pedal. Essentially, it's got more than one articulation built into the sound. Let's see, which is brilliant as always, maestro, is very loud in relation to your voice. The music, which is brilliant as always, is very loud in relation to your voice. You're telling me that the music level is much louder than my vocal level. Can you hear my vocal level very well, Elvis? Can you? Are you? I'm wondering how to interpret that. Maybe turn the music down a little bit. Why don't we do that? Well, part of the reason here, I think, is that we have a situation where we have very dense, very high RMS level sound that has a perceived volume that is a lot higher because we're not dealing with transient peaks. I mean, didn't mean to get all technical on you. But that's, when you put compression on music, it tends to get louder. Well, that's because it doesn't have any peaks. And, well, it does have peaks, but they're under control. Yada, yada, yada. Move the microphone a little bit closer, too. It's one thing about this Shure SM7B microphone is they really want you to stick the thing right in front of your face. And I got to get used to a microphone being right there because you move it back into this position, you can see how it quickly loses its, it's supposed to do that. All right, so show you a couple of other fun controls of this instrument. So, I've selected the ensemble articulations. It has multiple microphone positions like almost every one of these has. And I'm going to go ahead and let that built-in reverb ride there for a minute. Let's turn that off and listen. Okay, so that is that's better. Okay, so it's kind of better when what I've done is for lack of a better way to know what to do there, Elvis, I've kind of pulled the microphone a little bit closer to my mouth because I can actually turn the microphone up a little bit, but I don't want it to feed back. That should help right there. I should be coming through there pretty loud and clear. So, Shure SM7B was used by a lot of radio DJs. They say that I keep looking over here because that's where my comment window is. Maybe if I move that over here, it'll look like I'm looking at the camera a little bit better. See, this is learning by doing, Elvis. The Shure SM7B. Yeah, they say if God's talking, he's normally talking to a Shure SM7B. That's a reference to how commonplace this microphone is for vocal broadcasting. I haven't even done any EQ to this mic or anything, man. Listen to that for a second. I know that's a little intense. In other words, they're pulling on the bow really hard. Let me see where I might want to bring that in. Thanks, Elvis. I appreciate that. I'm going to show you how easy it is to just layer in power using a few orchestral things. I'm not doing anything yet. I'm getting ready to. Now, what I want to do is take a closer look at the notes that were there previously, just so that I can line them up as doubling instead of dissonant soup, because I can't remember what I played there. So give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see. What was Jace doing? Okay. That's right. E. Oh, B. Okay. Just gonna change that to a nice little B. Okay. Let's change you to some sort of open chord B. Okay, so what I'm going to do is upon these notes, I'm going to lower the modulation, which is to say the intensity. So usually we associate the attack, which is AKA the velocity, with the intensity of the notes. Virtual orchestration software doesn't always play by those rules. As a matter of fact, its scripts and things are designed to give you about as much control as they're willing to do. And in this particular case, the modulation control, that's expression. Let's try one more time. Modulation is going to control the intensity, the loudness. Okay, watch what happens. Okay, so that's not just turning a volume up and down. All right, that is actually filtering from one sample to the next using a pretty complex script from a hard bow to a very soft bow for a gentle push on the strings. And what happens is when you double or unison cellos and double basses like that, they get a very big body to them. Let me show you. That's these. Okay. Just little orchestral tricks and that is, I'm going to call that splurge right there. I'm kind of not splurging anymore. I've kind of hit a balance where I know when I'm splurging and when I'm not, and I'm able to now incorporate some of the video narration and stuff at the same time without losing my splurge flow. I'm not concerned anymore about the quality like I was when I first started doing these videos, because it's hard to sit in front of people and make music that could be completely misunderstood as, does this person even know what they're doing or whatever else, because people don't realize that you're not trying to make a masterpiece. But I am going to take 1 second and I'm going to load up a piano patch here, and I'm going to play. Hang on a second. Let me think of what I want to do here. Okay. This is a great piano patch, and it's the one I was using for the reverses. It's got one of the best powerful piano sounds. But I need to pull that up a little bit. And I'm just going to play a little bit of a track I wrote when I was in my 20s that is also about the Northern Lights. This one is on my album J-Spec Live with the Royal Sylvan. I orchestrated this for a symphony orchestra, but the reality is I wrote this when I was over in Finland. How's that sound, Elvis? You still with me? I don't know if you can tell me if that's coming through loud and clear. I hope it is. Sounds so real. Oh, great. All right, I'm going to kick back here and play this track for you, since you're with me here, and then I'm going to call this session. Just give me a second here. All right, I'm going to move this microphone out from in front of my face. right. Ooh. All right, then. I'm going to sign off here for tonight. At least for this splurge. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. It's about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might come back for more. You just never know. But anyways, thanks for joining me this evening. Thanks to my friends from the Leap that showed up here to support me. Thank you, Elvis. Not Elvis is in the King, ladies and gentlemen. Elvis is in my buddy Elvis Knight. And everybody have a beautiful evening. Get out there and try to see those northern lights.